Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the Statesman podcast. So today we have a very exciting episode. We are talking about Tagwirei's takeover. Is Chiwenga fighting back? And how is it looking inside ZANU-PFs secret succession war? How is the church, the youth, the war veterans and the Women's League is involved? All right, so let's get right into it. So Tagwirei, about a week ago, he was accompanied by General Anselm Sanya Twenamo to a church program, and the church in question is the Seventh-day Adventist, where Tagwirei is a member of. So they had a program in Nyanga, as I read. So he was accompanied there by the former soldier Anselm Sanya Twenamo. To those who are not aware of this man, I am comfortable saying he may be popularly known for his role in the August 1 to 2018 shooting of protesters and civilians with live fire in Harare. So Sanya's troops, they opened fire to people that were protesting. It concerned the delay in election result announcement and probably the quality of the results that were being announced. Some people were not very happy with them from the MDC Alliance opposition party. So Sanya's troops, they opened fire on protesters, and up to 6 people lost their lives, officially known, and 35 people were injured. So Sanyato was recently relieved of his military duties for the second time. I would say the first time he was appointed as an ambassador soon after the Muhlanje Commission inquiry after the shooting of the people, but then he was returned again as the head of the Zimbabwe army, and now he has been relieved of those duties again. And reportedly it is because he failed to handle Blessed Geza. So he is now a minister of sports, so he is now in the political game. So he accompanied Tagwirei to a program at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Manyikaland. So this is what he had to say at the church congregation.
Kuti muraramise mhuri mukomava vakati tikavapa upfu vamwe wenyu muchauwana urimo unopera wabiwa ko kana wapera woita sei kuva ikoko vachishanda nemauto unoremekedza mauto nekuti kunonamatwawo vanditika kunoita sei kunonamatiwa. Kwakauya chirongwa chinonzi Command Agriculture. Command Agriculture ndiyo yakapedza nzara muZimbabwe. Kune vanotaura vangangova mapoliticians, ini general ndakukudzai ndiye akapedza nzara. Ndamunongedzera nechiguno changu chakadamburwa kuhondo nokuti pane zvazvinoreva. Anoda nyika yake. Tunzona kubva kuHarare nevamwe vanorima murwizi kuHarare. Ndino kwamabvaira vasikana nevakomana uchirima pai wetland. Panoda ma-inputs pachirungu, ingava mbeu, ingava fertilizer, ingava ma-chemicals. Ndiye murume akasikadiki zindimba.
Right, so After this, a fellow church member, Advocate ZANU-PF, Advocate ZANU-PF, the lawyer who represented MD's alliance in the 2018 political fiasco, election fiasco, Advocate Fulcrum, the pith. So he wrote a letter to the church. He's also a member in the church. So he wrote a letter threatening legal action against the church and specific leaders who attended the event. The letter was directed to the Seventh-day Zimbabwe East Union Conference, and he stated that during a church campaign called Operation Macedonia, Elder Tagwirei invited a ZANU-PF politician, Mr. Sanyatwe, to speak on the church pulpit and made some uncomfortable statements. And the uncomfortable statements that he made were like this.
Pane hukura tambozvitaura futi zvakare ndiri kuzvidzokorora pamberi pekereke kuti uchida usingadi tichakutonga.
Right. So these statements, they politicized, according to Tavani, they politicized the pulpit of the Holy Sabbath, and it violates the church doctrine. Tavani was seeking an explanation for the lack of disciplinary action after the event, and he threatened legal action against the church with potential involvement of higher church authorities and the general conference of the church. So the church responded timely, and in their response, they upheld the church neutrality. The church should never be involved in politics and should never be used as a platform for sloganeering and anything that goes with that. So they also indicated that the issue was resolved, and they also reinforced church policies, and they redirected focus also to the spiritual mission of the church. They said the speaker was immediately corrected, he apologized, and the issue was resolved the same day. Of course, there is no way of knowing whether this happened or not, or it is just the church trying to stop the crisis from escalating. So my reading of this event are that Sanyatwe, who is believed to be in Chiwenga's camp, was at this event. Yes, I am aware his wife is the MP who represent this constituency, so maybe he had to be there. But him being known to be in the Chiwenga camp and participating in the way that he did and said the things that he did, in a way, I think it signals a convergence of the two camps, the Chiwenga camp or the military camp and the Tagwirei camp. And Tagwirei is now emerging, not the Tagwirei camp, the ED camp as per se, and the La Costa camp, that is. And Tagwirei is emerging somehow as the presumptive nominee of the both camps. So Tagwirei appears nevertheless to be using the church as a springboard. And in Zimbabwe, you need the support of the church, women, youth, and war veterans. If you are going to win an election in Zimbabwe, those groups are very key in supporting you or in voting for you. And so far, it seems Tagwirei is using his church, the Seventh Day, as a springboard. And definitely it can work. So this episode is going to show how Tagwirei has a plan for all these groups that we have stated. Now, later on, earlier or late last week, Tagwirei went to Bulawayo, and the latest event, which is appearing to be a part of Tagwirei's increasingly busy political schedule, it took place in Bulawayo, as I've mentioned, where he met young people. So this is the second of such events, and the first one was held in Masvingo. And objectives of these events, which have to do with giving title deeds to people who benefited from the fast-track land reform. And those farms, when people got those farms, they were given 99-year leases which really did not help and do not help in terms of securitizing them to recapitalize operations. They were not bankable, they are not bankable. So that is a correction which is happening, and Tagwirei is leading the charge. So the objectives of these programs for me, they include youth empowerment. The youth have been targeted, and Tagwirei has really been courting youth, the young people. But I must say, it's really disturbing because there is a group of people in Zimbabwe that has been ignored. Now, these people, they are not women per se, but they are also women involved. And everyone focuses on women empowerment, everyone focuses on the youth. But there is a group which is no longer the youth of Zimbabwe from the ages of, I would say, 35. Everyone was born in 1980 in Zimbabwe. They really suffered from bad political and economic policies from the government, the economic collapse of the country, and they've been forgotten now because they are no longer the youth. And those people, they actually are a very huge constituency, and no one is talking about them. And I think one day we are going really to talk about these people, and where are they, what are they doing, what became of them. I think we will do that one. We would have definitely just keep watch. We will do that one also. So he is also raising awareness of farm title deeds, which are meant to make the farms bankable instead of the current 99-year leases, which have not really helped. And then the third objective, I think he is leading the charge to resurrect the divisive Wamunangagwa vanenge vachitonga 2030. You know, I think everyone had been charged to stop. Even some ministers like Chiwenga at some time, he seemed to be leading the charge with his youth ministry, but they were stopped after it caused a lot of issues and led to the rise of Blessed Geza. But this man is now leading the charge, and no one is questioning him from the part. But who has the guts to do that? Really, even the vice president is using vehicles that were bought by this man. The Politburo is getting salaries from him. The last I heard, the Central Committee is also using vehicles that were bought by this man. So who in the party has the guts to reprimand him from chanting Vaninge Vachitonga 2030? So this man seems to be on the charge to deliver 2030 to the president of Zimbabwe, ED. All right, so I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to come up, because even the army, which was supposed to be at the forefront of stopping him, and the war veterans are being bribed. They are receiving a lot of gifts, and more are being promised to be going their way. And also the army leadership has been reshuffled. So one really wonders if the structure in the military is still the same, which was supporting Chiwenga, or which supported Chiwenga, and which led to the rise of ED to the president of Zimbabwe. So my reading of this is that Tagwirei is targeted the youth. This initiative can create thousands of jobs, and it seems there is lots of cash to back this initiative. While I strongly believe that Tagwirei might be seriously corrupt, I encourage the youth of Zimbabwe to take whatever he is offering. This is how things get done in Zimbabwe. Years back, some of our parents, they didn't really go and took the farms, but the farms were taken, and it is what it is today. So in such chaos, that's how things get done in Zimbabwe. So I encourage every youth who has an opportunity to participate in this, go grab them and get the papers, get the capital from these people, and make things work. Make sure that things work for you, because the failure is not a choice. There are no jobs in Zimbabwe, so it has to work. And going out is not one of the best options, actually. It's tough in foreign countries. It's tough to be a foreigner. In other countries, it's really not the same as being home. So if you have a chance, please take it. That's apart from what Tagwirei said, I know a lot of people have been condemning him for what he said concerning the issue of government tenders and stuff like that. So sometimes we miss some information. So while I don't have a high regard of the man, but whatever he is offering, please go ahead and take it. If I had an opportunity to, I was going to. All right, so I think in exchange, Tagwirei has caught a massive constituency of young people, and he has to preserve these constituents, and he's going to work with these young people. And they are going to help him a lot. And I think Tagwirei, first in Masvingo, now in Bulawayo, he has spoke about what I would call Vision 2050. He called it Vision 2050 himself. And I think this guy, he is really interested in being the president, I think from 2030 to 2050. I see that shaping up starting from now, and it's really something that needs to be resisted. Otherwise, after him, someone's going to come again with the Vision 2000, and we are going to have a series of these people coming, these kind of politicians in Zimbabwe, coining visions that will never come to anything, with corrupt people stealing from the country, but not delivering anything. So war veterans have seemingly been targeted also, and listen to what he is offering war veterans.
If you are a war veteran, if you have 6 hectares, guess how much you are going to pay? I saw that they were war veterans. War veterans who are here. War veterans. Let me say this to you, children of the war veterans. Your parents are only going to pay $60. $60 for 6 hectares. What a discount. We must celebrate the president. We should all rise and dance for $60. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. We have 6 hectares. But the president is recognizing that you fought for this country.
And listen, this is not all. Both women and war veterans, they have a lot more things coming their way as well. Listen to this.
All of us are going to be encouraged to participate in the land tenure program, and that we can all succeed. There are many other programs that are coming, and I'm telling you, on that day, war veterans are going to be supported, women are going to be supported. We are leaving no place and no one behind.
Now, having said that, I have to caution Tagwirei to be very careful, because ED is a cunning politician. Maybe Tagwirei has been promised that after ED is the one who's going to be the president of the party and of the country. But Tagwirei needs to be very careful. ED is a very cunning politician, and Tagwirei may be a convenient chess piece on ED's chessboard at present. ED is a serious schemer. ED himself has a number of kids, which I believe they would be interested also in cracking the president, in having their own chance also in the president, so as to protect whatever they have gained, the wealth that they have gained. And probably there is a high chance that whatever they have gained have been gained corruptly. So they will try to protect their wealth by making sure that they have a person that they trust. And I don't think the person that they trust is Tagwirei. ED has a number of kids, and one of his kids has already joined politics. The Deputy Minister of Finance, Kudakwashe Mnangagwa, he was born in 1989, and he is about 35, 36 years now. And in 2030, he will be 41 years. And that makes him eligible to run for president. In Zimbabwe, you have to be 40. You have to have attained 40 years for you to be able to run for president. And in this instance, 2028, he would be below the age. So they may need to get ED to 2030, so that after 2030, they will have someone like Kudakwashe on top. And it will be very easy for them to do, because we already have another Mnangagwa, Shoni Mnangagwa, who is in the military. And he is a major in the military. So what they can do is they can get Shoni to the precipice of the military, to the upper positions or the top position in the military, and they already have someone in CIO or who have been in the CIO. Remember the guy who ran the Forever Association of Zimbabwe during the elections, Asha Walter Tafumane. And that man, they can even put him to the top of the CIO. He has already been the Deputy Director General of the CIO. He can easily be slotted at the top of the end. This guy is a guy who is also very loyal to the Mnangagwas. So going into 2030, if Tagwirei is thinking that he will be the man to lead ZANU-PF, I think he has to tread here carefully. If ED can dishonor a gentleman's agreement that he had with Chiwenga, this is a man, Chiwenga, who laid his life to put ED on the presidency. What more about Kudakwashi Tagwirei? What really has he done for ED that ED can say, okay, you are going to replace me as the president of Zimbabwe? So my advice to Kuda is, you have flown too close to the sun and you need to come back before your wings really melt. I do not believe anyone believes really that you can be president. I don't think you're presidential, with all due respect. I don't know if you believe you are and you can be. I hope you have a plan of your own to achieve that. I think it will be unlike ED to trust you, given probably your history with the other politicians. Like you moved from Zenda to Mujuru. Is it Mzenda or Msika, then to Mujuru? From Mujuru you went to Chiwenga, then Chiwenga got ill, and then you jumped ship. Your loyalties went to ED. So if you become president yourself, because of your loyalties, definitely at your wealth, not to anyone else, but to your wealth. So you may end up definitely turning against everyone, against whatever plan that may have been put in place. And will you share with anyone the only source of wealth in Zimbabwe, or the main source of wealth in Zimbabwe, given your business beliefs? And these are your beliefs.
If you are not a entrepreneur, you are foolish. If you are not a entrepreneur, you are foolish. There is the biggest buyer or seller in this country is government. So if you do not want to get a tender,
and after they no longer need you, I think it's going to be very easy to chuck you out from the system, because the land tenure project that you are leading reportedly lacks legal backing, and it leaves you exposed. And this implies that at present, right now, you are a de facto political actor. A de facto, it means you're not a legal political actor. So it means you are acting as an extension of state apparatus. And secondly, this also implies that you are used as an electioneering tool. So giving title deeds is a loyalty building mechanism. It can work in your favor if you will ultimately replace ED, that is. And then also thirdly, it's an indicator of state capture also. So this behavior is classic symptom of state capture, where unelected elites, they wield executive power or carry out functions that belong to state institutions. And lastly, it undermines public institutions, really, because by bypassing formal institutions, bypassing formal land allocation processes, such actions, they undermine legal procedure. And in short, Kudakwashi Tagwirei, you are not legally empowered to distribute title deeds. So whatever influence you have today is not yours. And reading from the outside, I think yourself and the Wiki Nojivayo, you are acting as a front for ED and the sons of ED. Those people are very much careful in terms of doing what is legal and what is not legal. They will not really expose themselves because they've been in this game for a long time, especially ED. And they are in the game for the long time coming. So they will try to shield themselves legally and make sure that they do not expose themselves. And as far as things stand right now, it appears you have exposed yourself. Chifayo also, and I don't think he really cares about that as long as he makes the money. So I would say in this game, if you are Queen B that was being referred to, ED is not the King B, ED is the Emperor in this game, and I think he's the man at the top who's controlling every string. Yeah. So out of genuine Ubuntu, I will urge you to be careful. You have an exit strategy and make sure you have offshore wealth. Definitely. And if you are bending on going all in, I would say find people who think and strategize politically, people who understand the game, so that they help you. So I'm not sure about Chiwenga, if Chiwenga is still game, but in one of our earlier episodes that we did concerning Chiwenga and Tagwirei during the Geza period, we said Chiwenga had up to early June to fight back and to really turn tables, and he has not done that, and I think his time is over. I really don't see him coming back again. I think he has been decimated. But he had a speech that he did last week, and in the speech that he gave, obviously he did not write it. So certainly he has people that are working behind him, but I don't know if they share his political aspirations, if he has any aspirations to be president. And this is what he said partly.
We must shun unscrupulous so-called business people operating from briefcases with no traceable capital or legitimate enterprise. This culture of phantom entrepreneurship, where money appears without any known source, is not only economically corrosive, but ethically bankrupt. We all know that man does not fall from the heavens like manna. The time of Moses are no longer here. Real business are built through hard work, discipline, sacrifice, and value creation. The day of reckoning is inevitable for those who undermine our economic integrity by engaging in shadowy dealings. It's coming. Let us not mortgage our nation's future for fleeting gain. Equally, imperative to this shared national and developmental vision is our collective stance on integrity and accountability. As we deepen public-private partnerships and catalyze economic growth, we must decisively shun corruption in all its ugly forms. There can be no room for rent-seeking behaviors and muddy practices in a modern competitive economy.
So this may be an indication that Chiwenga is still game, is still interested, is to his ambitions, but I'm not really expecting much from Chiwenga. He has been through a lot. His camp has been decimated, so it's exciting to see if he's still interested and if he still has what it takes. But I think it's going to be very much difficult for him. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If this is your first time to be on the channel, please do not forget to subscribe and share if you will find this content exciting for you. Thank you so much. Let's see you next time.